Rain hammered against the marble terrace of the Harrington estate as Claire stumbled backward, one hand instinctively clutching her 4-month pregnant belly. Andrew Harrington, her millionaire husband, towered over her, a polished wooden stick gripped in his hand. He didn't strike hard, not enough to break skin, but enough to make her gasp, enough to make her eyes fill with disbelief, enough to show he was choosing someone else over her. And that someone else stood beside him, his mistress, a glamorous woman with cruel, smug eyes, smiling like she'd finally won. Dozens of guests froze under the golden chandeliers. No one stepped forward. No one dared challenge a man as powerful as Andrew Harrington. Claire's breath trembled, her body shook, the sting on her arm throbbed, and then outside the glass doors, 3 black SUVs rolled up the driveway. 3 CEO brothers had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same. Claire Whitmore had grown up believing in quiet strength. Soft-spoken, humble, and gentle, she managed a small interior design studio while married to Andrew Harrington, a man who lived for status, wealth, and control. Their mansion, often filled with people, never felt like home. Andrew liked things loud, flashy, public. Tonight's charity gala was no different. Golden lights, $1,000 per plate dinner, and reporters ready to photograph anything he touched. But Claire had a secret weapon Andrew always underestimated: 3 older brothers. Daniel, the oldest, CEO of an engineering empire, Miles, founder of a global logistics corporation, and Carter, CEO of a cybersecurity firm. They were feared in their industries, ruthless when necessary, protective always. But Andrew never met them. He never cared to. He married Claire quickly and pushed her away from her family even faster. Tonight should have been a celebration. Claire planned to announce her pregnancy publicly. But when she arrived, she found Andrew whispering into another woman's ear, a woman he introduced to guests as an important business friend. Claire felt unease crawling up her spine. Something was very, very wrong. The gala buzzed with chatter and champagne, but Claire felt the weight of eyes following her. The mistress, Sabrina, glided across the floor in a red silk gown, her smirk sharpened like a blade. Every time Claire got near Andrew, Sabrina drifted between them. "She shouldn't be here," Claire overheard Sabrina hiss to Andrew near the bar. "Just make it through tonight," Andrew muttered back. "Don't start a scene." But Sabrina wanted a scene. Claire approached them anyway, her fingers trembling. "Andrew, can we talk privately?" she asked softly. Sabrina giggled. "You're so needy, no wonder he prefers confident women." Claire's face flushed. A few guests exchanged glances. Someone whispered. Andrew didn't defend her. Later in the courtyard, Sabrina accidentally bumped her shoulder, making Claire lose her balance. "Oh my God, she's so dramatic," Sabrina laughed loudly when Claire steadied herself. Whispers grew, phones lifted discreetly. Claire felt smaller and smaller. When she tried again to speak privately with Andrew, he snapped, "Stop embarrassing me. Go sit down." Tears burned behind her eyes, her heart squeezed painfully. The baby inside her felt like the only thing keeping her grounded. But Sabrina wasn't done. As the storm outside worsened, Sabrina grabbed a small wooden display stick from a decorative arrangement and shoved it into Andrew's hand. "She's ruining your reputation," Sabrina taunted. "Show her she doesn't control you." Claire froze. Andrew raised the stick, hesitating only for a moment before bringing it down lightly on her arm, enough to shock her, enough to humiliate. Guests gasped. Claire stumbled back and saw 3 familiar figures at the doorway, their eyes locked on her trembling body. The thunder outside cracked as if reacting to the outrage inside the hall. Claire's breath hitched. The mild sting on her arm felt like fire under the weight of everyone's gaze. Sabrina laughed softly, leaning her head on Andrew's shoulder, acting like the queen of the night. "She's so sensitive," Sabrina cooed. "I barely touched her earlier, and now look, you pushed me," Claire whispered, voice wavering. Sabrina shrugged. "Prove it." One woman in the crowd raised her phone, recording. Andrew waved dismissively. "Everyone calm down, it was nothing." Nothing. That word hit Claire harder than the stick. But then the room shifted, heads turned. A ripple went through the guests as Daniel Whitmore, tall and stone-faced, stepped forward. Behind him were Miles and Carter, equally imposing, their suits dark from the rain. Daniel's voice boomed across the hall. "Did I just watch you raise a stick at my pregnant sister?" The crowd sucked in a breath. Andrew paled. Wait, Claire, you didn't tell me your brothers were." "Men you can't buy," Miles finished coldly. Carter's eyes locked onto Sabrina. "And you're the woman encouraging him." Sabrina scoffed but stepped back. Daniel's jaw clenched. "Claire, come here." She wobbled toward them, tears slipping silently. Miles caught her gently, checking her arm, making sure she was safe. Andrew raised both hands defensively. "It was a misunderstanding. She's overreacting." Daniel's expression hardened. "You should pray that's true." The room fell silent. Reporters whispered. Cameras pointed. Sabrina's confidence cracked. This was no longer Andrew's gala. This was a battlefield, and the Whitmore brothers had taken center stage. Daniel stepped onto the small stage where Andrew had planned to give his keynote address. Instead, Daniel picked up the microphone. "Everyone here deserves the truth," he announced. Andrew's eyes went wide. "Daniel, don't do this." Carter tapped his wrist device, projecting security footage onto the screen behind them, footage from the courtyard minutes earlier. The entire room watched Sabrina shove Claire, watched Claire stumble, clutching her belly, watched Andrew do nothing. Gasps erupted. Sabrina screamed, "That's edited, that's not real." Miles folded his arms. "Funny, considering it came from the mansion's own security system." Then another clip played, Andrew taking the stick, Claire stepping back in fear, Sabrina urging him on. The mistress lunged toward the screen to unplug it, but security, Whitmore security, blocked her. "Get away from me!" Sabrina shrieked, losing all composure. Daniel's voice cut through the chaos. "My sister came here to announce her pregnancy. Andrew chose to humiliate her, to hurt her, to let his mistress torment her. So we're here to return the favor with the truth." Miles stepped forward with documents. For those wondering, Claire owns 40% of Andrew's company through prenup agreements he forgot exist. Andrew staggered. "Claire, you wouldn't," Carter added. "And as of tonight, shareholders will see this footage online. Your reputation, done." Andrew's voice cracked. "Please, let's talk privately." Daniel shook his head. "You made it public when you raised that stick." The final blow came when Miles announced, "Effective immediately, Claire is filing for separation, full medical custody, and emergency protective orders." The audience applauded. Sabrina collapsed into a chair, defeated. Andrew looked shattered. Justice had landed, loud, public, and undeniable. The rain had softened by the time the brothers guided Claire out of the mansion. Away from the flashbulbs, away from Andrew's desperate shouting, away from Sabrina's wails. Inside the SUV, Claire finally breathed, really breathed for the first time in months. "You're safe," Daniel murmured. "We've got you," Miles added. "Always," Carter finished. Back at Daniel's penthouse, the warmth and quiet felt surreal. Miles made tea. Carter called a doctor to check on her and the baby. Everything was safe, stable. Claire stared out the window at the city lights. I thought I was alone." Daniel placed a hand on her shoulder. "You never were. He just made you think you were." Claire felt tears again, but softer this time, healing tears. Within days, the footage went viral. Andrew's sponsors dropped him. Sabrina vanished from society circles. Claire's studio received overwhelming support from women applauding her courage. And slowly, Claire rebuilt. One evening months later, she stood on a balcony, baby bump now visible and glowing, and whispered, "I wasn't broken. I was just waiting to find my strength again." And somewhere deep inside, she knew karma didn't just arrive. It arrived in 3 black SUVs.